If you keep struggling with belly fat, even though you're training hard and eating clean, today you will finally understand why. I'm going to give you the 5 hidden reasons of what's happening in your body so that you finally understand what's happening behind the scenes and you learn how to tackle that and finally get rid of the belly fat for good. The number one reason might be excessive cortisol. And what is the problem? Cortisol is a stress hormone. It's not necessarily bad. When you wake up, you naturally release cortisol to be awake, to be more alert. The problem nowadays is that people have a lot of cortisol in their bodies and they are constantly in this state of fight or flight mode. Job-related stuff, financial stuff, relationship stuff, you name it. A lot of stress leads to high cortisol. Cortisol is basically a stress hormone that is responsible for you storing fat, especially around the belly. That's why, for example, if you're stressed, if you're not sleeping enough, if you're overtraining, this might lead to excessive cortisol. That's why a lot of people are doing HIIT classes, a lot of cardio, training 7 days a week, and they still cannot get rid of the belly fat. It seems like they lose fat, they lose muscle, they lose weight, but they cannot get rid of the belly fat. That's exactly the reason. It might be excessive cortisol. Maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you're stressed, you're not sleeping enough. So that's why it's important to understand, like, track your sleep, some meditation, sunlight, to regulate your cortisol levels so that it's not constantly elevated. Remember, excessive cortisol leads to belly fat accumulation. So in order for you to get rid of the belly fat, the number one thing that you need to focus is decrease your cortisol levels or learn how to manage it properly. So you want high cortisol, for example, in the morning when you wake up to be alert, but then you don't want high cortisol throughout the day all the time. For example, a lot of people go to bed, they're still like on fight or flight mode, scrolling or comments or watching movies or a lot of blue light. All of this leads to excessive cortisol in your body at night at 7, 8, 9 p.m. when your cortisol levels should be decreasing already. So if you learn how to manage your cortisol levels properly, you will inevitably lose more fat, build more muscle, improve your sleep, and all of the other things will fall in place. Which brings me to the second point, which is insulin resistance. And you need to distinguish between two things, insulin resistance and glucose levels. You might check your glucose levels and they're normal, but you are already insulin resistant and you don't even know. You start to feel perhaps low libido, fat accumulation, brain fog, low energy in the afternoon. A lot of people are insulin resistant nowadays because they're eating a lot of carbs, they're snacking, they're eating a lot of things that they shouldn't, a lot of sugars, like sugary drinks, a lot of snacks, croissant, bread, a lot of rice and all these things. There's no problem with rice or potatoes. You can eat them strategically in your day. What you need to understand is when you should be eating those carbs, why you should be eating those carbs as well. If you're moving more, you can eat more carbs. If you're eating less, you should eat less carbs. The problem is processed food, cookies, pastries, bagels, seed oils. These are the main problems, and sugary drinks and sodas and even alcohol as well. So these are things that are leading you to have more insulin resistance. And what you need is to learn how to manage your insulin levels. How? By eating less often and less carbs. These are the two main things that you want to do. If you start eating less carbs and you eat less often, your insulin levels will be lower. That means you're going to be in an optimal fat burning state and improve your overall metabolic health. So learn how to keep your insulin levels low by eating 2 or 3 times a day. Don't snack in between anything. So you want to have 3 periods of the day where you eat, for example, 8 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m. That's it. No snack in between. Just drink water, tea, or black coffee in between so that you keep your insulin levels low. This will make you more insulin sensitive. What it means is that you're going to start burning more fat. So learn how to optimize your insulin levels by becoming more insulin sensitive. You will automatically start burning more fat and feeling more energy. Which brings me to point number 3, which is low testosterone. The main 3 hormones that are related to belly fat accumulation is cortisol, insulin, and testosterone. If you learn how to manage these 3, literally everything will fall in place, and then you can start to worry with the calories. Now, let's go back here to the testosterone side of things. What is the problem? After 35, your testosterone levels decrease perhaps 1 to 2% every year. So this is massive. That means in 10 years, you're going to lose 10 to 20% of your testosterone. And the problem is that less testosterone means less muscle, means more fat accumulation, as simple as that. So you want to naturally boost your testosterone levels. How are you going to do that? By fixing your sleep, improving your REM sleep, your deep sleep, by getting more sunlight, by doing more strength training, by stressing less, again, in relation to point number 1, fixing your cortisol, deep breathing, meditation, fixing your sleep, sunlight, all of these are related. All of these will improve your testosterone, decrease your cortisol, improve your insulin sensitivity, boost your testosterone levels. So if you learn how to optimize your testosterone levels with these lifestyle habits and also with the nutritional parts, such as increasing your protein intake, having certain types of foods, for example, that can boost your testosterone levels naturally, like Brazil nuts, pomegranate, more leafy greens, more healthy fats, don't cut on fats like avocados, salmon, grass-fed steak, eggs, eat the yolk as well. If you combine all of these nutritional principles with these lifestyle habits, you're going to naturally boost your testosterone levels, which will also lead you to burn more fat, especially around the belly. All right, so which brings me to point number 4, which is the wrong type of training. And this is massive. I see this way too often. People overemphasize the workouts and they neglect all the other lifestyle factors that I just mentioned. And the problem is that they will inevitably overtrain, and usually they do the wrong type of training. People want to get rid of belly fat, and I hope now you will finally correct this and understand that if you want to get rid of the belly fat, of course, it's not just the type of training, but the type of training will help as well. And if you're doing a lot of cardio, that will stop you from burning belly fat. And what is the reason behind that? Without being too technical, if you do a lot of cardio, for example, if you're running 3-4 days a week, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you're feeling great, right? The endorphins, you're feeling great, you're feeling energetic, you have that runner's mood, you start to feel great, but that's not helping you. Running increases cortisol, decreases your testosterone levels, and messes up with your hunger hormones. Also crave more food. You're gonna think that you deserve more food because you had that run. So it's gonna basically mess up with your hunger hormones, decreasing your testosterone levels, increasing your cortisol levels, and also promote more impact. Because if you're running a lot, that's a lot of impact on your body. That will compromise lean muscle. Now, I'm not saying for you not to run if you love running. Do it once a week or twice a week. The main priority, 3 to 4 days a week, needs to be strength training, mainly compound movements. Work your legs, work your glutes, your back, your shoulders, your chest, these big muscle groups. And you don't need to be a bodybuilder. You don't need to do, for example, one chest day and then a back day. Just do 3 full body workouts. Just to be lean and athletic, like some supersets, some squats with bench presses, some split squats with shoulder press, dynamic, big muscle groups, moving. So you want to optimize your time in the gym. 40-45 minutes is more than enough if you do it properly. This will increase growth hormone production, it will increase testosterone production, it will make you burn more fat, and it will give you the stimuli to boost your testosterone levels and to actually burn belly fat. All right. So if you want the sweet spot in terms of training, I would recommend once a week you do your long cardio session if you love it. Okay. So once a week you can do a long cardio session if you really like that. Okay. Cycling, running, totally fine. Then another day you do zone 2 cardio, means your heart rate between 60 to 70%. My personal favorite is I just go to the treadmill, I walk incline. That's it. I walk incline 10 to 12%, 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour. My heart rate 60 to 70%, and that's it. I don't sprint, I don't run, nothing, just walking, because that is on the sweet spot of the fat burning zone that you want to be without compromising your recovery, without increasing your stress hormones and sacrificing your testosterone levels. And once a week, you can sprinkle that with one high intensity training, either your favorite group class, I don't know, Barry's Bootcamp, or any other group class that you love. That's totally fine. Again, once a week, because I see this way too often. I don't do those classes often, but I used to do those classes. And when I go to those classes, I'll be honest, 80 to 90% of people are not in shape. Okay, they're sweating like crazy. They're pushing probably way more than I do, but they are overweight. Why? Again, a lot of heat, a lot of cortisol in their bodies, messes up testosterone, more appetite. They're eating a lot of crap, a lot of carbs. Hunger hormones are not regulated. So this is basically a snowball effect. 3 good full body workouts per week, strength training, 45 minutes, more than enough. Once a week, long cardio session, your favorite, if you love it. Then one more day for zone 2 cardio, low impact walking. The other day, you just sprinkle that with a HIIT session, interval training, either a group class, or you can even do a short HIIT, like 15-20 minutes maximum on the treadmill, sprint 30 seconds, walk 60 seconds, in 12-15 minutes you're done. And you have here a 6-day routine, maximally optimized, of course, if all the other factors are in place, if your sleep is dialed in, if your nutrition, if your protein is on point, if the calories on point. But understand the training part, very important, because a lot of people overemphasize the workouts and neglect every single thing that we just mentioned before. All right, which brings me to point number 5, the weekends. And I'm sure you're thinking, okay, this is me. Yes, weekends are a big problem. A lot of my clients, when they join, the first question they ask is, can I have a cheat meal? And the question is, it depends. How bad do you want to achieve your goals? Why is that? A cheat meal can literally ruin all your progress. And what is a cheat meal? It depends. Is it a little bit of honey with Greek yogurt with one cookie? Or is it one pizza with soda and French fries and cake? Okay, it depends. What is a cheat meal for you? All right. So the key takeaway here is that your weekends can literally make or break you. They can completely ruin all your progress. Your body doesn't care if it's Monday, if it's Saturday, if it's Sunday. You need to be in a slight calorie deficit on a weekly basis. All right. So it's not just being a calorie deficit during the week and then you can mess up the weekends. And why is that? I'm going to give you a very simple math. Imagine that you're in a calorie deficit from Monday to Friday, you cut 200 calories. Monday to Friday, you're cutting 1,000 calories. That's great, right? So by the end of 4 weeks, you're cutting 4,000 calories, which is massive. It will help you massively in your weight loss journey. Now imagine that Saturday, you go out and you have your favorite cheat meal. You have a massive burger or pizza with some soda, some French fries. That will easily give you 1,500 calories, perhaps more, or maybe 1,200 to 2,000 calories. It all depends on the size and the portion. Now you see the problem here is that if you're having a meal that is 1,500 calories on the weekend and you're cutting 200 calories from Monday to Friday, you are not in a calorie deficit anymore. All right, so you were in a calorie deficit from Monday to Friday, and then you messed up the weekend because you had a couple of drinks or a burger or soda and French fries. You are not in a calorie deficit anymore. All right. What matters is you being in a slight calorie deficit on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and not just a few days and then you ruin all of it. So if you learn how to take control of the weekends, you will finally get rid of the belly fat, improve your body composition, improve your sleep. And what I suggest is if you really want a cheat meal, at least on a workout day, never on a rest day, on a workout day, and at least make some choices, make some trade-offs. Don't go crazy. Don't go burger, soda, fries, and dessert. At least go for the burger. Don't drink with soda and keep the French fries and the dessert. Or if you want a dessert, just don't eat the burger, don't eat the soda, eat some French fries and eat the dessert. So, I mean, this is not ideal, all right? So I have clients, for example, I had a call with a client 3 days ago. He joined 5 days ago. And we had the onboarding call and he told me, I want a six-pack. And I told him, okay, that's fine. That's perfectly valid. Let's work for that. Now, how bad do you want a six-pack? Do you really want a six-pack or do you kind of want a six-pack? And that's the difference, all right? Your actions are completely different if you really want a six-pack or if you kind of want a six-pack. Because the first thing he told me was he cannot compromise his social life. He needs to go out and he likes to eat bread every time he goes out for dinners and he goes every day. I told him, you're not going to have a six-pack. If you're eating bread every single day, if you're eating out every single day, if you really don't want to sacrifice anything, you will not have a six-pack. It's as simple as that. All right. So I have a six-pack and I'm lean all year round, sometimes a little bit leaner, maybe 9%, sometimes 11%, but I'm always between 9 and 10% most of the year, around that. I can live with that. That's perfectly sustainable. Of course, I make some trade-offs. I'm not eating bread and cookies and bagels every single day. Everything is a trade-off. If someone tells you that it's not, that you can enjoy all the foods that you want, I don't really think that it's possible because in this life, everything is a trade-off.